Near the beginning of 2004, rumors began to swirl regarding a third Deus Ex title, listed in multiple Eidos financial reports as Deus Ex Clan Wars and simply Deus Ex Action Game. The game was said to be in the works at Tomb Raider developer Crystal Dynamics, including a focus on action and multiplayer. The first murmurs of the project immediately drew anger from fans, upset that the series was straying too far from its roots. Then, Eidos revealed a curious new title at E3 2004, Snowblind. Developed by Crystal Dynamics featuring cyborgs and a biomodification system, the similarities were unmistakable.
You've been implanted with a series of bleeding-edge bioenhancements.
In June 2004, a month after E3, the truth came out. Snowblind and Deus Ex Clan Wars were one and the same. Perhaps in response to fan reactions or due to lackluster sales of Invisible War, the direction of the title shifted during development, and the team opted to transform it into a new IP. In February of 2005, Project Snowblind arrived on PlayStation 2, Xbox, and PC. Deus Ex was at a dead end. In 2007, Eidos brought together a new team of developers to open an office in Montreal. The idea was to create a studio that would bring Eidos franchises alive again. With a group composed of several talented individuals from Ubisoft Montreal who worked on titles such as Splinter Cell and Prince of Persia, the new team was hungry to take on the challenge of Deus Ex. With fans of the original among their ranks, they replayed Ion Storm's classic in an effort to identify what it would take to make a true successor. But they also dug deep into other works of science fiction with a desire to add their own signature as well. In 2009, the team found itself with a change in management. As the UK-based Eidos struggled to stay competitive, they were acquired by Japanese RPG powerhouse Square Enix. The company known for Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts now owned Tomb Raider and Hitman. Deus Ex was just a footnote in the unexpected deal. With the backing of Square Enix, Eidos Montreal brought their baby out of the shadows in the spring of 2010, rolling out an impressive trailer campaign that captured players' imaginations with a new vision of Deus Ex. Driven by memorable music from composer Michael McCann, the trailers introduce a world in strife, the metallic flash of robotic limbs, and the gruff voice of protagonist Adam Jensen, musing on its transhumanistic themes.
I never asked for this.
Deus Ex Human Revolution was released on August 23, 2011 on PC, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360. Taking place in 2027, 25 years before the original Deus Ex, Human Revolution comes at the end of the period referred to as the Cyber Renaissance. Long before the microscopic nano-augmentations of the first game, humanity is coming to terms with mechanical augmentation, limbs made of plastic and metal, scars revealing chips implanted in the brain, and a fundamental problem of rejection that requires each augmented individual to maintain a steady supply of a drug called neuropazine. The game's black and gold color scheme symbolizes both the great opportunities and great tragedies that augmentation has brought to the world. While many lives have been saved and improved, augmentation has evolved as a way to get ahead. Businessmen install cranial processors to compete in the marketplace. The military funds ways to build better soldiers. Even prostitutes are pressured to get augmented to satisfy new desires.
It's sick. I quit before I ever let them touch me.
Sounded like they don't consider it an option.
The economy has soared on the back of the technology, but in its wake is a growing divide between the haves and the have-nots. Speakers draw crowds debating that humanity should remain pure. The cost of neuropazine drives some into poverty, and in the streets of Lower Hengsha, harvester gangs abduct victims and take them to chop shops where expensive augs are cut out to be sold on the black market.
Today Today's attack was just a shell game being run by somebody else. I intend to find out who and why, so that it never happens to anybody again.
In the midst of all of this is Adam Jensen, head of security for Detroit's Seraph Industries. Just as the company is on the verge of a breakthrough that could change the future of augmentation, a mysterious group of mercenaries attacks Seraph's lab. Chief scientist Megan Reed and her team are wiped out, and Jensen is left critically injured. The only way to keep him alive is through extensive augmentation surgery, and CEO David Seraph uses the opportunity to turn Adam into a formidable guard dog, without Adam's consent.
Maybe this time you'll actually save people.
As evidenced by the self-help books and broken mirror in his apartment, he clearly struggles with his new mechanical body.
I didn't choose to get augmented, and I still don't know if I would have if given the choice. But today felt good.
The gameplay in Human Revolution is a mix of shooting, exploration, and stealth, with an emphasis on taking your own approach. As you're briefed on the hostage situation, you're given choices between a lethal or non-lethal weapon, ranged, or close combat. Your choice can dramatically affect your playstyle, whether your goal is to go in without being seen, to knock guards unconscious, or to shoot and slice your way through.
I'm a professional, I know how things work. So if we can just skip Cloak and Dagger 101.
Leveling up earns Praxis points that let you unlock latent abilities and build your character, but unlike most RPGs, you can also find and buy Praxis kits, rewarding players who explore and do side quests. Augmentations include basic upgrades that allow you to take more damage or increase battery power. Some skills increase your mobility, bestowing more strength to lift heavy objects, jump higher, and punch through walls. There's a whole range of hacking augmentations to get into more secure doors and devices, and there are stealth upgrades that let you cloak, see through walls, or do double takedowns. Two of the flashiest moves are the Icarus landing system, which lets you jump from high places with an option to stun enemies when you land, and the Typhoon, which fires small projectiles from your body in every direction. Augmentations tend to benefit different playstyles, but hacking benefits everyone, getting you into rooms with heavy weapons, allowing you to shut down robots and cameras, and granting significant XP rewards as well. The hacking minigame creates a sense of risk and often requires planning and quick decision-making as you attempt to capture nodes in a variety of network layouts. Dialogue also plays a critical role in Human Revolution, often giving you several options on how to respond. Some conversations even serve almost as boss battles of persuasion, as you try to read each person and convince them through several exchanges. Alternatively, you can be more direct with a social augmentation that measures personality types, allowing you to get to the point with a single statement. Along with these exchanges are several moments of choice and consequence. For instance, if you linger too long in the offices at the start of the game, hostages at the factory will die. Likewise, you have options in how to deal with the terrorist leader Zeke Sanders. If you're quick enough, you can just shoot him in the head and save the hostage. However, if you talk him down and let him investigate the larger players that set him up, he'll contact you later with valuable passwords that get you into several terminals and let you talk your way past employees in the FEMA base.
Yeah, what's a passcode, pal?
The level design also presents choices on how to approach each situation. There are frequently vents and hidden corridors to take advantage of, as well as lower and higher routes. The Detroit Police Station is a prime example of this, with numerous ways to get inside. Investing heavily in hacking lets you enter the basement from the sewers. Behind the station is a fire escape with entrances that lead directly to the second and third floors, and there are 3 different ways to even access the fire escape itself. If you're persuasive enough, you can convince the cop at the front desk to let you walk in freely. It's worth it, just for the RoboCop joke.
Hey, you ever heard of this 80s movie?
After recovering a hacker's implant from the station's morgue, Jensen's mission takes him around the globe. In Hengsha, the hacker Van Bruggen directs him to the labs of Taiyang Medical, a competitor of Seraph's. There, you learn that Megan and her team were kidnapped, not killed, and TYM CEO Zhao Yunru indicates that there are higher players behind it all. Adam then follows the trail to the Picus offices in Montreal, back to Detroit and Hengsha, and eventually finds the scientists at a secret research site in Singapore. Once you finally catch up to Megan Reed, Hugh Darrow, the visionary who paved the way for augmentation, begins a broadcast from his facility in the Arctic, Panchaea. Leaders from around the world have gathered for his speech when Darrow triggers a signal that drives the majority of augmented individuals into madness. Anyone who participated in a recent recall is now painfully driven to death and destruction, and the carnage on screen is just a fraction of the chaos happening worldwide. Adam has no choice but to go to Panchaea, confront Darrow, and shut down the signal.
Biotech corporations seem to be failing a lot these days, especially the ones who are making enhancements.
While the fiction of Human Revolution is separated by decades from the original Deus Ex, it includes several threads that tie the two together. There are some fun references, like the women's restroom joke,
Is someone there?
and the globe statue in the Picus offices, but more importantly are the people that bridge the gap. Joseph Manderley, who will be J.C. Denton's superior in 2052, is referenced several times in emails at the Detroit police station, and by the mercenaries when Jensen arrives outside the FEMA site. It's clear that he has some authority over covert military operations.
Manderley was supposed to have that morgue locked down, but somebody got to the corpse before we did.
Tong Si-hung, who runs the Hive nightclub and Harvester gang, is father to Tracer Tong, who goes on to be one of the key players in both the original Deus Ex and Invisible War. When Jensen plants a bomb as a diversion at the Hengsha docks, you can see the younger Tong making an escape, presumably to Hong Kong. From emails in the broadcast center, we learn that Morgan Everett currently heads up the Picus Communications Group, subtly shaping the news for the Illuminati's purposes. Even the Picus logo shows clear Illuminati symbolism. He later collaborates with J.C. Denton in Paris. Then there's Bob Page. The central villain of the original Deus Ex is revealed in a brief post-credits scene. Once identified, he can then be recognized in the opening cutscene as well, making it clear that he's already on the rise to his ultimate position of power.
Tell me something, Hotshot. Do you enjoy taking people's lives?
Not if I'm given the choice.
In October 2011, Square Enix released DLC for Human Revolution titled The Missing Link. The premise seems like a bad afterthought. In the original version of Human Revolution, Jensen stows away in a life pod to find out where the Bell Tower military group is taking victims, and he awakens at Omega Ranch several days later. The missing link fills those days. Jensen is discovered en route, completes a separate mission, and stows away in another life pod to reach his final destination.
Better be the right fucking boat this time, because I don't feel like coming back here anytime soon.
The DLC doesn't connect to previous save files, forcing you to rebuild your character from scratch. However, there is some value in the missing link as it expands more on Bob Page's role, connecting him to horrific scientific endeavors like the Hyron Project, which uses living people as brains for supercomputers. The final scenes of the chapter also reveal another secretive group counter to the Illuminati who wish to recruit Adam Jensen into their ranks.
So where does that leave me in your grand design?
We are all pawns in someone else's grand design, Mr. Jensen.
I know the loyalty you've shown me will only continue as we take this fight into the future. Because that's what's really important, isn't it?
2 years later, in October 2013, Square Enix released a director's cut for Human Revolution. Originally planned as a Wii U exclusive with a number of second-screen functions, other changes were considered significant enough for a multi-platform release. Most notably, changes were made to the frustrating boss fights, which many players complained about, and it includes a mission with Tong that was originally limited to pre-order bonuses. The director's cut also wedges the missing Link DLC into the structure of the main game, which slows down the pace, dilutes the impact of the Bob Page reveal at the end, and makes the loss of your skills even more jarring as you have to respec your character mid-game.
Hello, Adam. Welcome to the Edge. It is not the end of the world, but you can see it from here.
While the post-game content may not stand up to the initial release, Human Revolution asserted a strong future for Deus Ex. Not only did it please many fans of the original, but new players gravitated towards the music, the world, and its multi-threaded design. With Adam Jensen as the iconic new face of Deus Ex, it won't soon be forgotten.
Conspiracies thrive in the darkness, but if we could shine a light on them, so bright it would make it impossible for them to operate.
When Deus Ex returned in 2011, the series branched out into other mediums as well. The novel Icarus Effect follows Secret Service agent Anna Kelso and former British SAS officer Ben Saxon as they meet new and old characters and discover expanded conspiracies surrounding the events of Human Revolution. A comic book was also produced at the time, chronicling one of the first missions between Adam Jensen and his pilot, Farida Malik. Malik also starred in her own novella, Fallen Angel, originally released as a pre-order bonus for purchasing the director's cut. Human Revolution was also rumored, for a time, to be in production as a feature film. Deus Ex returned to print to celebrate the launch of the newest Deus Ex game, Mankind Divided. The novel Blacklight retraces the footsteps of Adam Jensen and Frank Pritchard following Human Revolution, and Hardline focuses on Alex Vega, a pilot that players meet in Mankind Divided who has links to characters in-game and throughout the expanded world. A comic book series was created for Mankind Divided called Deus Ex Universe, which currently includes the single-issue Dawning Darkness, the tale of undercover agent Aaron Singh, and the 5-issue run Children's Crusade, a report of Adam's first mission with the anti-terrorism group Task Force 29.
You're a very good soldier, Ben, but there's something you lack.
Enlighten me.
You can't see where the line is. You don't know how to compartmentalize yourself.
Ben Saxon, the lead of the Icarus Effect novel, also appeared in his own video game titled The Fall, which released on iOS devices a month before the launch of Human Revolution. Developed by Eidos Montreal and Enfusion Interactive, the short game sees Saxon investigating various shady organizations like the Tyrants, Illuminati, and his employers Bell Tower Associates. After release, most reviewers complained about using touchpad controls to experience a series originally meant for the PC and consoles, but The Fall still wrote its own story that's considered canon within the complex web of Deus Ex. It was later ported to Android devices and Windows PCs. Most recently, Jensen's era has returned to mobile phones in Deus Ex Go, using a puzzle model template developed by Square Enix Montreal for Hitman and Lara Croft. The series' fifth installment, Mankind Divided, is available for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. The sequel continues Adam Jensen's story in 2029. While Human Revolution had 4 endings with dramatically different results, including Jensen's death, Mankind Divided focuses on the terror of the Panchaea incident and a worldwide backlash against augmentation. The UN is embroiled in debates about how to regulate the technology, and augmented citizens are widely hated, abused, and forced to live in ghettos. Adam Jensen no longer works for Seraph Industries and has joined Task Force 29's mission of stopping augmented terrorists. However, in the background, Adam's true goal is to learn more about the Illuminati and to stop their shadowy reign over society. Deus Ex is a name frequently heard when talking about the most influential games ever made, and yet only a handful of titles have represented the franchise in its 16-year lifespan. Each entry has a lot to live up to. Deus Ex constantly challenges multiple genres to give players more freedom in everything they do, charting their own path through each adventure, bearing the tremendous weight of their own choices along the way. Like the evolutionary technological milestones this elaborate story documents, the video game series has made its own leaps forward after years of trial and error. What will Deus Ex look like the next time it makes headlines? And what will our society look like in this dark future? Easy Allies would like to thank our patrons for their support in the creation of this retrospective, and their dedication to keep this series funded. To help us produce more retrospectives on your favorite franchises, visit patreon.com/easyallies.